GSL.
Dun, 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 dun. ToSys! It's the final match. As you can see the results so far, Penguins are extinct. You guys are warned.
Well,
but you didn't recycle.
Dude. Yep. Global warming. MC, the boss toss, does go through in first place. And now we have a rematch of the first round. Rogue against FanTaSy. Winner goes up, loser goes down.
Can we say that one more time? Loser goes down.
That's right.
This is a tough one to call. Part of me wants to go with FanTaSy. He looked really good earlier. But Rogue is a player that knows how to adapt.
Yeah, FanTaSy looked pretty damn good. I want to see the map pool. Map pool, I think, is important.
The players, by the way, are picking the maps, or we're sorting out the maps, I should say.
Foxtrot, merry-go-round, King Sejong. Okay. If FanTaSy wins Foxtrot, I think he takes it. I think Rogue can take it, though, if he can take Foxtrot.
Pretty cool to see Foxtrot actually first map.
Yeah.
Like I said, I do think Rogue is a guy whose play it is pliable. He can adjust up. So sometimes in rematches we do see, the play get tuned a little bit better to deal with the person he's against. Obviously, FanTaSy though also very. He's very adaptable in all these different situations. So let's see what happens. Guys, this is the GSL Code S. One of these two players goes on to the round of 16. The other one is eliminated. Here with Rogue versus FanTaSy. In the upper left, defeating Penguin, he is
GNL Green Wings Rogue.
And his opponent in the bottom right,
Dead Pixels FanTaSy.
As you can see, they've got their jackets there. It is freaking cold in Seoul right now.
It is.
It is so cold.
Yeah.
I was coming to the studio today, and I did not wear a hat. That's like how cold it is, where I'm like, all I can do is think about how my head's just freezing.
Why didn't you wear a hat?
I don't think I have any winter hats in my house right now.
You need to buy one.
I got to get on that. I maybe take his hat. He's got a good hat.
It doesn't say anything
From
about
Australia,
Artosis, but he's still got the sign on the
screen. He misspelled Artosis. He put Australia. I'm so confused.
Ostosis.
We actually got a lot of viewers from Australia.
Indeed, it's a good time zone
we
for them.
We went down to
Australians are cool.
They are.
Greetings on my Australian friends.
At least they're cooler than Americans, you can say. They have a cooler accent, and they're more rugged, They are. They're more rugged.
Are they more rugged? The thing
is,
I know
look
Moonglade.
At us, Artosis.
There's not many men less rugged than Moonglade.
That's true. Yeah.
That is a gamer through and through, Moonglade.
And that was a request on that sign for David Kim to please save Zerg. I'm sure David Kim will look at that and go, oh, okay, well.
It's like, oh, God, yeah, a guy in the
GSL
audience. I know, Moonglade is rugged.
Oh, he's for sure rugged, man.
Yeah. I just don't want Australians more rugged than me. But I guess
well,
it's just
look, Artosis, we all know that you are pretty rugged. Let's just get this out of the way. We all know that if we kicked Artosis out of an airplane with a parachute and dropped him off in the wilderness, he would for sure survive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'd eat, like, poison ivy first thing.
You'd eat the poison ivy?
And then a bear would eat me. He'd get indigestion, though.
Yeah, he would.
He's like,
what kind of diet was that guy on? Now, which is a cooler accent, though, is the next question. The Australian accent or the British accent?
There's a lot of accents in Britain.
Okay, but just if we could just take kind of like the more...
Like Apollo accent?
Yeah, let's take Apollo accent.
Apollo accent or Moonglade accent?
We could take Apollo accent, which is kind of like the accent I want children's books to read to me at. or Moonglade's accent, which is like I want him to like point out a wild animal.
Okay,
and,
like
and explain to me
overall,
in an enthusiastic way.
In certain scenarios, it's Apollo's like when he says "you want me."
Yeah, you want me, but he doesn't cast like that. That's when he gets salty.
Yeah, that's true. Otherwise, I'll go with the Moonglade accent.
Moonglade accent. Okay. And then this is the part we cue in. We go. The thing is, we don't have accents.
We don't.
No, yeah.
This is how English is meant to be spoken. This is how you and I speak.
Yeah.
There's no accent here.
Yeah.
This is actually, sorry guys, like, y'all could learn some from us.
Y'all could learn some. So we have passive game here. We have fantasy going, getting that expansion up, droning up here for the Zerg.
Yeah, and look at that. Very quickly getting Overlord speed here. Pretty cool to see. That's kind of like an old school way that Zergs would check on what Terran's doing. Like back when Hellbat drops were all the rage, to try to figure out if that was what was in fact happening to him. So I'm excited to see him getting that quite quickly, be able to scout what's going on. I feel like it also kind of shows some confidence. He's like, okay, if I can figure out what he's doing, I can stop it.
And he's going to tear down these rocks over here just to open up.
Are those queens going to tear down those rocks, or are they just going to have attack animations for 30 minutes and he's going to die before they're gone?
Believe it or not, they're probably going to have attack animations for 30 minutes, but eventually when those rocks are gone, he'll have some good circulation on the map. We have Terran going for stem. And he's just going to peek in here. Not the most common way to scout, but he's going to get in here and see what is going on.
And he sees it. He sees everything he needs to.
Yep,
double eBay,
eBay.
3 CC. Okay, there we go. Very effective scout. Good creep spread so far by Rogue. That's definitely something we've seen from every game. He's been very on top of creep spread.
And we won't see fantasy attack for a little while here. Rogue is matching the double eBay with 2 evolution chambers.
Drones hiding right now from those aliens. They do turn around. Do you know what sound a car makes, Tasteless?
Broom.
Yes.
Honk.
No. Vroom.
Yeah.
Vroom, vroom.
Well, the sound a car makes is like, hello, I'm a talking car. Is that kind of what it sounds like?
No.
Oh, okay, sorry. Oh, you meant just a normal car?
Yeah,
okay. No.
Of course. Whoa, he wants to take the gold base. Very cool.
Cool. Well, this will force Zerg into doing something aggressive. Zerg may try to match this by just taking a gold base of his own, but I don't know if that goes favorably for Zerg because I think Terran has a lot more push power taking the gold base first.
Yeah.
So he might, I think Zerg will be forced to try to do something here.
Yeah, I think he does have to do something, and I don't know what he can exactly do, right? Because he's setting up for a macro game, so I don't think there's an instant reaction that he can do right now that's going to be very good against this, right? Because he doesn't have Baneling speed, which I think would be very much needed. He's starting to Baneling Nest now, but with Hellions already out, 1-1 and Stim finishing up here, and the kind of defensive style we've been seeing out of fantasy so far today in this matchup, I think that this is a pretty solid gold base for now. I think it's going to be very hard for him to actually do anything against this. He's making a lot of lings, though, and he is taking his 4th, which makes sense, of course, that piece of it.
Well, you know, he did see those SCVs get transferred there, so he knows this expansion's been taken. He will have to do something. The Spire, it's got a way to go before it's done. And Fantasy a little bit gutsy here. He's actually going to push out despite the gold base being pretty naked. I don't believe there's... Is there even a bunker there? I think he just now started one in between the 2 gases, but not really. Okay, now if Fantasy gets this, I think this game should be pretty straightforward here as long as he gets back in defense.
It was a very good move.
This is... Whoop. Okay, there he goes. I thought he was going to not move it.
He's making so many lings tasteless.
Yeah, but Rogue has to use those lings and everything else to actually stop this base, or there's just nothing that can be done.
Well, he is coming down now, bringing the queens as well. Baneling speed still not done. The lateness of the Baneling, well, the thing is, it's not even really late. He started it quite quickly, but the speed of this base against the slowness of that Baneling speed, you know, the fact that he didn't have that yet, like, a quick Ling Baneling attack could have taken it out, but as of right now, like, the army that FanTaSy is getting is so big. So this Ling Bane attack has to do a lot of damage. He's spending so much money on it.
We have more barracks finishing up here. You can really see the gold base kicking in now. And this production is going to be insane. Pretty soon, Terran is going to be surpassing Zerg in supply.
Is, yeah.
By the way, Rogue's creep spread is insanely good, although that may not matter in the long run.
Well, if he doesn't get anything done with these Lings and Banes, probably won't. But I think he can. Like, he has quite a few Lings and Banes. FanTaSy doesn't have the best defense of that gold base. Maybe he can get in there and kill off those SCVs, make a lift off.
Okay, I like the positioning, too, of this army over here to draw attention on that side of the gold base. Because he can pick up very easily. If FanTaSy wanted to, he could even put some infantry on the other side of the gold to fire that down. Sort of like we see Terrans abuse high ground, low ground when pushing expansions. But he's actually just got his whole army over here. Macro very good by Rogue. Don't forget about the game we saw really early on with Rogue versus FanTaSy, where I think Rogue was missing Larva and Jax.
This game, he's not having any problems. He's really on top of his money's low. Here we go, though. A lot of Lings and Banes coming up right now.
Oh, my
God.
God.
Some very good connections so far.
He's picking up. Can the Mutas actually take out the Medivacs? No. The Mutas and the Banelings and the Lings are pushed back, and we see a supply leap ahead here for FanTaSy.
Indeed we do, and in fact, he's up 2 upgrades right now, and during that battle, he was up 2 upgrades, so that was definitely a little bit of an issue, but that 2-2 is about to finish here for Rogue, who has insane creep spread right now. Nordry's winning everything. And finally going to go after this gold, but was that really effective?
Not really. He didn't get any SCVs there. They just pulled back for a second.
Yeah.
This is getting scary. It's still 4 base versus 3 base, with the gold base far superior to the Zerg's 4 bases. The 2-2 upgrades for Zerg are finishing, as well as air attack, actually. So that'll be helpful as Terran tries to push out. Zerg might be able to fend this off, but, well, let's see. He's got a very good spread, FanTaSy does.
Indeed he does. It's spreading out. We do have a lot of Lings coming in right now. He does have to turn around. That is a lot of Marines.
Well, I got to talk about this game after it's all done, but for the play-by-play, let's just focus on that. This is really not something that Rogue can pull off as far as holding it all. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. There's just too much here from FanTaSy. You can see there's hardly any ground units, and the Mutas are constantly retreating, which is always a bad sign. That base goes down. It's now 3 base versus 3 base with Terran on a gold. And I think FanTaSy will probably be expanding again here.
FanTaSy is just on point right now. This is
his TVZ is so good.
Indeed.
This probably does go back to a lot of the Brood War days. He was pretty strong in that too, and pretty tactical, but and these matchups are pretty similar to the Brood War matchup in a lot of ways.
Yeah. To be fair, like right now in the current meta of StarCraft II, Zergs are having a little bit of a hard time with Terran again. Yeah. So, you know, I'm sure that accounts for it like a little bit, but FanTaSy is really playing very, very well.
Okay, so let's go back and talk about what happened here. It's kind of straightforward. FanTaSy just took that base fast enough and matter-of-factly enough that with Rogue taking his 4th at the base at the bottom left and already having drones being supplied there, there really wasn't much he could do. You know he was aware of it, but there was no way he could actually get in there and do the damage. And as technical as most GSL games are, that was oddly straightforward. It's almost as if, you know, we were in a shop and, you know, my opponent's a shopkeeper and I'm just in there, he goes to the restroom and I just take the cash register and walk out of the game. I mean, or walk out of the store. I mean, it was just, he kind of just stole the win just like that.
It was like almost impossible for him to go up against. Like, for instance, if he had opened roaches or something, he would have had an attack path that he could have used right away. But FanTaSy got the gold base at such a time where Rogue had no options to punish him at all.
It's kind of funny how that worked out.
It's just, it was very well done. A very well thought out strategy there by FanTaSy.
It's a terrible feeling, too, when you're Rogue and you're stuck in your build. There's not really an avenue that you can take to switch this up. Yeah. And all that FanTaSy needed was about 2 or 3 minutes on that gold base to start really reaping the benefits. get his extra production facilities up. FanTaSy had a pretty good technique for defending that, covering both sides, never letting Zerg get an edge. Rogue was playing very well, though, otherwise. Everything else from Rogue was really good. He had a great creep spread, some of the best we've seen in a while.
His creep spread is really impeccable in all these games, really. He's been really on point with it. So we'll see. It's going to be merry-go-round again, Tasteless, a map on which it's very hard for Zerg to secure a port.